I'm back with She Fell for a Math Genius Part 4. The grand ballroom of the Royal Palace Hotel was blindingly bright. Crystal chandeliers cast golden light over rows of professors in velvet robes, wealthy tech investors, and international scholars. As Maya and Liam walked through the tall glass doors, conversations dipped into hushed whispers. Everyone recognized Dean Thomas Sterling, and everyone immediately noticed his estranged prodigy son entering hand in hand with an unfamiliar economics student. Maya felt the heavy weight of 100 eyes judging them, but Liam's fingers tightened around hers, warm and solid. He didn't look at the crowd, he looked down at her with a reassuring nod. "Just focus on me," he murmured softly, his thumb gently caressing the back of her hand. "You're the only reason I'm in this room." Before Maya could respond, Dean Thomas Sterling approached them, flanked by two board members. His hair was silver, his posture rigid, and his cold eyes swept from Liam to Maya with sharp disapproval. "Liam," Dean Sterling said, his voice dripping with authority. "I see you finally decided to act like a Sterling." Though bringing a guest to a private academic gala was not part of the agreement. "Maya stays," Liam said firmly, stepping slightly in front of her. "She's the only reason I haven't turned around and walked out." The dean smirked faintly, turning his gaze toward the grand stage where a massive digital screen displayed a complex, unsolved quantum computing proof, the highlight challenge of the evening. "Prove your worth tonight, Liam," the dean said coldly. "Solve that proof on stage for our investors, agree to return to the department, and I'll tee up the demolition permit for the bookstore. Fail to show up, or refuse, and the bulldozers start tomorrow morning." The ultimatum hung in the air. Maya looked at the screen. The equations were staggering, designed to intimidate even world-class mathematicians. Maya leaned in close to Liam, her heart swelling with affection and trust. She reached up, gently adjusting his collar, her fingers lingering against his neck. "You don't have to carry this burden alone, Liam," she whispered, looking deep into his eyes. "You taught me that math is beauty, not power. Show them the beauty." Liam looked at her, his eyes softening completely. All the tension in his shoulders seemed to vanish, replaced by a quiet, deep affection. He leaned down, pressing a tender, lingering kiss to her forehead. "Watch me," Liam whispered against her skin. He walked up to the stage. But instead of picking up the digital pen to solve the proof the way his father wanted, Liam turned to the audience, his eyes fixing entirely on Maya. A tense hush fell over the magnificent ballroom. Hundreds of eyes were fixed on Liam as he stood center stage, bathed in the soft glow of the spotlights. Behind him, the massive digital screen flickered with rows of terrifyingly complex quantum equations. His father, Dean Sterling, stood in the front row with his arms crossed, waiting for his son to surrender to the family legacy. Liam looked straight past the crowd, past his father, and locked eyes with Maya. The infinite necklace around her neck glittered under the chandeliers. Seeing her, holding her gaze, gave him a quiet, unbreakable courage. He picked up the stylus, but instead of completing the commercial quantum algorithm on the board, he crossed out the entire core premise with one decisive line. Gasps rippled through the audience. "Liam, what are you doing?" Dean Sterling demanded, his voice echoing through the speakers as he took a step forward. "That is a multi-million-dollar government formula." "It's a flawed formula," Liam said into the microphone. His voice was calm, deep, and completely captivating. "You built an equation meant to restrict, control, and monetize predictability. But reality doesn't work like that." Liam turned to the digital screen. His hand moved across the surface like a master musician playing a violin. He didn't write numbers or corporate data, he drew a breathtakingly elegant bridge between chaos theory and pure harmony, a mathematical representation of organic flow, connection, and balance. He wasn't solving a problem for a grant. He was expressing the exact way he felt when he was with Maya. As the final symbol sparkled on the screen, the mathematical logic was so flawless, so beautiful, that several world-renowned professors in the audience involuntarily stood up and began to applaud. Soon, the entire ballroom erupted into thunderous applause, completely captivated by the genius on display. Dean Sterling stood frozen, stunned into absolute silence. The board members beside him immediately began shaking Liam's hand in spirit, realizing they were witnessing true greatness that couldn't be bought or owned. Liam placed the stylus down. He didn't bow. He didn't wait for his father's approval. He walked straight off the stage, stepping right past the applause, past the reporters, and stopped directly in front of Maya. "You changed the proof," Maya whispered, her eyes shining with tears of absolute joy and awe. "I didn't change it for them," Liam said softly. The noise of the cheering crowd seemed to disappear into nothingness. He reached out, cupping her cheek gently with his hand, his thumb stroking her skin with infinite tenderness. "Before I met you, my world was just cold logic and numbers," Liam confessed, his voice trembling with genuine emotion. "You gave those numbers a heart, Maya. I don't care about their labs or their titles. My future is wherever you are." Maya smiled, a radiant, tearful smile, and placed her hand over his. "Then let's build that future together." Liam leaned in, closing the remaining distance, and kissed her softly under the golden lights of the ballroom, a moment far more beautiful and timeless than any equation ever written. A year had passed since the night of the gala. The storm that once threatened to tear their worlds apart had finally cleared, leaving behind a sky bright with quiet promise. Ethelgard Books was still standing, untouched and more vibrant than ever. Liam and Maya had officially bought the shop together, turning the cozy ground floor into a haven for students and book lovers, while the sunlit second floor remained their private sanctuary of love, laughter, and ideas. On a warm spring morning, sunlight streamed through the high windows, illuminating dust motes that danced in the air like tiny stars. Maya sat at the large wooden desk, finishing the final chapter of her senior honors thesis on behavioral economics, a work dedicated entirely to the harmony between human emotions and logic. Behind her, gentle footsteps approached. Liam wrapped his arms loosely around her waist, resting his chin on her shoulder. The comforting scent of coffee and fresh pine surrounded her. "Still working, Miss Lynn?" Liam whispered softly, pressing a gentle kiss against her cheek. Maya leaned back into his warm embrace, smiling warmly. "Just finished, actually. And I think the dedication page is my favorite part." Liam glanced down at the paper. Written at the bottom in neat script was a single line, "To Liam, who taught me that the most beautiful equations are the ones we write together." Liam's heart swelled with an overwhelming tenderness. He spun her chair around gently so she was facing him. Looking down into her bright eyes, he felt a deep sense of gratitude for the rainy night she had first walked into his library. If you enjoy romantic stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Thank you for watching.